Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me because it really helps out the channel. I really would appreciate it. So I can tell you, guys, the car market is in a bad position right now. The car market is crashing and it's due to a reason that no one saw coming. Car insurance costs are rising faster than overall inflation. Can you believe that? As fast as inflation has been rising, car insurance costs are rising much faster. This is putting everybody in a very, very serious predicament, and it's having major, major impact and implications on the economy. So get this. The cost of insurance shot up 19% in just 1 year, according to the latest Bureau of Labor Statistics data, which was significantly more than the overall rate of inflation of 3%. 19% in just 1 year, more than the overall inflation rate of 3%. That means that's almost what? Six times the amount that it increased over inflation. Now we know how high inflation is, right? But insurance, car insurance has gone through the roof of 19%. That's crazy. What is that cost coming from? Well, it's largely due to the higher cost in vehicle repairs, medical care, and to some extent, the legal cost that's associated with all the costs that are affecting the insurance agency's expenses directly. So, with inflation comes vehicle repairs. Anytime somebody needs to get a car fixed, especially if they've been in a crash, you see how high the prices for mechanics are, right? Medical care, don't even talk about medical care. That is completely through the roof. That's been through the roof for decades now, but now it's going up even higher. So can you imagine what the insurance companies have to do to foot that bill? It's absolutely nuts. It's getting insane, right? So the insurance companies have all these expenses, and it's driving up the price of the cost of the premiums. Now, of course, you can't forget that with the rise of the ownership on the rise now, that means we have what? More congested roads, and on top of that, more medical distractions. Well, not medical distractions, but distractions for technology while people are driving. Because what are they doing? Like a bunch of robots on their phones, right? That's all you see. A bunch of people, robots. When you're driving down the road, you see you going down the road. You look to your right and to your left, and what? People driving. They're supposed to be looking straight ahead, and what are they doing? Glued to the phone, right? And what they got their eyes off the road, and what are they doing? They're driving distracted and almost about ready to kill somebody, right? And so that means that insurance companies have to cover those claims more frequently. Those insurance providers see a lot more costly crashes because there's not only the crashes worse, but they're happening more often. They're more frequent, so the insurance companies have to cover those costs from those crashes. So that's driving up the insurance rates. And don't forget about the natural disasters like the hurricanes and the floods and the tornadoes that are contributing to the rising costs. And because climate change is a major catalyst for a majority of these natural disasters, insurance companies must cover those claims for those extreme weather events just as frequently too. Because we're having a lot more natural disasters than what we used to have in the past. We already know that homeowners insurance companies have been pulling out of places like Florida due to the increase of the liability because of these natural disasters. So it's already happened and been happening on the homeowner side, which has been totally killing the real estate market because you can't even find a insurance company that will insure people's homes. So The amount of natural disasters, especially in places like Florida, where they've been just getting hit by hurricane after hurricane, is just completely driven up the cost for home insurance, where so many of the insurance companies have completely pulled out. You can't even get a policy. That means there's no competition and people are fighting for the insurance companies who will insure, which means some people have had double, even triple the price of the insurance costs and premiums, which is more than doubled a lot of their premiums or their mortgage payments. Some people even tripled. A lot of people are struggling for that reason. And then we have now more personal automobile insurance companies having to deal with all these extreme amounts of liability. So many of them, a lot of people don't know this, many of them are operating at underwriting loss, which means that the premiums that are paid by the customers don't even fully cover the cost that the insurers have to pay out in the claims each year. So this is causing them to have to make very difficult decisions of either pulling out and not offering insurance altogether, or raising everyone's premium rates. There's no getting around it, guys. The insurance companies are having a hard time. They're struggling, and they're at an impasse on what they have to do. So it's either they're going to pull out of the market, which makes it even worse for people trying to find insurance, especially people who are high risk, and that creates a problem with competition. Either they pull out or they have to increase their premium rates. So guys, I mean, what is that doing to the market? Think about it. What is that doing to the market? Well, it dramatically increases the cost of car ownership, right? And it puts people in a position where they can't afford it anymore. So that means that people are flat out either giving their cars back, but unfortunately the majority are defaulting. They're defaulting on their car loans, especially with all these growing massive layoffs. They're defaulting on their car loans. I mean, it is getting bad out here, guys. It is getting bad. I mean, you got people who cannot make their car payments because of something that was so unlikely, so unseen, like the increase of car insurance. Okay? It's ridiculous. So when people start defaulting on their car loans, that causes a whole mess of problems, right? And bigger implications. I mean, not only does that destroy people's their credit, and prevents them from getting loans in the future, but it also creates a lot of inventory on the market, causing the car market to crash. That's right. I ain't stutter. So when people can't get loans, then they can't buy homes. And those that do have homes, when they start losing their jobs and defaulting on their car loans, they usually start defaulting on their home loans too, causing them to lose their homes. And then we end up with a foreclosure epidemic on our hands and an overall market crash, all because of higher insurance rates that nobody saw coming. So we go from a car market crash to a housing crash. They couldn't predict that. See, they thought of the interest rates and all this other stuff, but they didn't know that there was something else brewing behind the scenes with these insurance companies. Now we got insurance companies who can barely afford to cover car crashes, car expenses from accidents, and they're completely pulling out of the housing market altogether. You see how screwed this market is when it comes to getting affordable coverage, and it's causing problems in the market. People can't afford it, and so that means they're letting things go. They're letting their car go. They're letting their car go, and they're lapsing on their housing payments because they can't afford the payments with the insurance. So guys, this is serious. This is serious. This is more than serious. This is major. Do not go out there and buy an overpriced vehicle and get yourself in a high interest car loan, especially with these high insurance premium rates that we have now. Because you're just shooting yourself in the foot. You're shooting yourself in the foot, and you're setting yourself up to be struggling majorly, especially if you're making both car payments and homeowners payments or mortgage payments in addition to the cost of living. These insurance premium rates are through the roof, and that doesn't even include the interest rates on the loans, which are already high. So you are asking for trouble by going out there and trying to buy these overpriced vehicles. Right now, they're overpriced. Some people need a vehicle to get around. That's understandable. But you got to try to find a better deal, or try to find an inefficiency in the market where you can get a deal. But right now, things are overpriced. But guess what? Now we've been seeing how the car market is starting to crash. It is crashing down, and people now with bad credit can't even afford to get cars. So don't let that be you. You know that I preach on this channel to stay out of consumer debt and to save your money for rough and rainy days. Because they're coming. They're coming. And right now, in the car market, it's here upon us right now. A lot of people won't be able to escape it. So make wise financial decisions with your money. That way you're not struggling with the 90% of Americans who are, because we are on a better come up.